Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review for Halloween month. And this one is a review of another older horror film from 1977. And I guess what you could say is it was kind of one of those horror films at the time when Jaws was very successful. Several other films, people say knockoffs or rip-offs, their films were made after that. Well, like Grizzly or Alligator, Piranha, or the ones like Barracuda or Tentacles. Like the early, like 66 or 77 or 78, those type of films, they kind of say they try to do like knockoffs or rip-offs of Jaws. Well, this people say it's this one's like another one like on Jaws on Land type of one, but I don't think it's a blatant knockoff. I think it does its own thing, and I like the film. So it's from 1977, and that is of The Car. Is it a phantom? Is it a demon? Or is it the devil himself? So The Car from 1977 stars James Brolin. James Brolin, who is the father of actor Josh Brolin, which Josh Brolin plays Thanos in the MCU. But his father, James Brolin. And you also got a young Ronny Cox. Ronny Cox, who plays from RoboCop, Total Recall. He's been in a lot of films as well. And I like Ronny Cox as an actor. So you have him younger in this movie. Another recognizable face I know is a guy by the name of R.G. Armstrong. He's a guy. He was in Children of the Corn as a mechanic. How the dog got killed. He was also in another the same year, 77, called The Pack with Joe Don Baker. With a pack of rogue dogs. Killing people. Abandoned dogs though. And he was also in Predator. He was the colonel that's at the beginning telling about the mission, and he appears at the end of the movie in the helicopter. Yeah, so that's R.G. Armstrong. And I like the film. It's another killer car film, like in the van. Well, later Stephen King / John Carpenter's Christine, and also Maximum Overdrive. I know that's for Stephen King as well. Duel. That's not a killer car film. There's a guy. It's a guy in a truck chasing after Dennis Weaver. So it's not a haunted or possessed car. It's a mysterious guy driving a truck chasing after this one guy. So it's not a killer car film. It's the guy who just chasing him in a big semi truck. But The Car. I say a decent cast, and I do like the movie. I do like how it's just a lot of times the shots of the atmosphere of the desert. I like the shots of those. And The Car, well, how Christine was a 1950s Plymouth Fury. Here it's a kind of like a slightly modified of a black Lincoln Continental. So. And I thought it was a really cool design of the car, and especially of the very loud, the loud horn honking it does that. It has like the noise of a semi truck though, but it's not. It's very very loud, kind of say of a demonic type of car honking. But James Brolin I liked. He's the guy he's the sheriff who plays Wade, a guy named Wade. He has two kids. One of them is actually played by Cal, which actually they're real life sisters in the movie, but also in real life. One of the sisters is played by Kyle Richards, and then the sister is played by Kim Richards. Kyle Richards as one of the sisters is actually the year after this would play Lindsay, the little girl that babysitting in John Carpenter's Halloween. So yeah, just before John Carpenter's Halloween, Kim Richards stars in this. And yes, Kim Richards is gonna come back. Is gonna come back as the same character, Lindsay, in Halloween Kills. Yeah, coming back as older Lindsay. Yes. But just before Halloween, though, she starred in this, though, along with her real sister, Kim Richards. And it's just about this evil it's an evil car, just like Christine was. But right in the opening, there's these a couple bicycling, and the car, again, and I like it from its point of view, like. There's no, like, the windows are all tinted and all that, but from its point of view, it's, like, filtered red, like, for, like, evil, right? And these two bicyclists, first he pushes the woman off a cliff, and then the guy is on a bridge, and he pushes him off the bridge, a very high bridge, and he falls all the way down to his death. And, when it honks, bam, bam. Or another interesting one was, there's this guy who was a hitchhiker who plays this French horn, when it was kind of like a little agitating to R.G. Armstrong. He's hitchhiking, and he sees something, a car coming, thinking he's gonna get a ride, but when it almost tries to hit him, gives him the bird, but then the car backs up and then hits him again. But does hit him, though. And then just runs him over a couple times. And R.G. Armstrong sees this, but couldn't fully make it out because all the dust was flying around. But this car is evil, It's running people over, left, just like the hitchhiker just runs them over, backs up and over and over and over. And the car is just a straight up evil car, Well, Christine... Although I will say the car does more damage than Christine does. I mean, although I don't think it could top how Christine itself be lit on fire, driving a flame, lit in a flame. That's still a cool thing. Seeing Christine just set a flame, but still driving it. But here the car is doing this car here is still doing evil things, running people over, even to a point where where there's this parade where there are these kids and teachers, and one of them is actually James Brolin's girlfriend in the movie. One of them is James Brolin's girlfriend. They have a little funny moment when they're when she's at his house, and James Brolin still wants to get a bit on. He's like, "Oh, we got 10 minutes. We still got 10 minutes." So they have a little bit of fun back and forth with each other. And he just, like I said, some characters I thought were pretty funny, And like there's one, one of his deputies is actually one is an Indian, Native American, right? And he's on the phone with a guy, and who's calling him out because he's an Indian. And I like the guy who plays him, the Indian deputy. He's like, I'll hunt you down and I would track you down, and I will stick an arrow up your ass, shoot an arrow up your ass. That was kind of funny. And Ronny Cox, he's a character by the name of Luke, who he's kind of a little bit religious because he has he wears a cross, and though he does have a little bit of a alcohol problem, he drinks a little bit. And then you have this hitchhiker who is playing with this French horn. Like a little bit agitating to R.G. Armstrong. And the car just, first he's hitchhiking, and once he sees the car at a distance, trying to hitch a ride, but at first the car misses him, gives the bird, and then just runs him over the second time, but just keeps on doing it back and forth, running this guy over. And this car doesn't mess around, but especially when he wants to run people over, like I said, probably said, these two bicyclists push this one girl off the cliff, then the guy off a high bridge. Then with the hitchhiker, just keeps on running him over. And then with this group of kids doing like a little band rehearsal, the car comes in, like some cowboys on horseback try to distract the car, but they get knocked off their horses. I don't think they get run over though, but they get knocked over. But they manage to get to this cemetery, and the car can't cross it. That's sacred ground. You know, kind of like the Headless Horseman in Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. He can't cross the gate because it's a sacred ground to a church. So kind of the car can't go past the gate there, and Kathleen Lloyd, James Brolin's girlfriend, is like toying with it, taunting it. Well, they think she thinks there's a person inside of it, so he's like telling her, "Hey, come out of here, see who you really are. Oh, you're a chicken shit, right?" Kind of like getting the car mad. But and then you get to this really really creepy scene, which I thought was one of the best parts of the movie. Well, but before that, as the car leaves the cemetery, a deputy gives a car chase to it, and then it's because the road is on a side of the cliff, and the car just pushes the car right off the cliff with the deputy inside, and then just rolls down the hill, exploding on fire. Good stunt work of the car set ablaze as it's rolling down the hill. Really good effect. And the car, like I said, with Kathleen Lloyd, that was a really creepy scene because the car followed her home where she lives, and she's on the phone with James Brolin, and like, I'm right here, right? I'm this way. I'm on the phone, right? And right here is the window. It's pitch black outside. Right here's the window, pitch black outside, right? She's on the phone, and right, like I said, in the pitch black window, all of a sudden, you see the car's headlights from a far distance, and then you see it's getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and there was no score playing, which I thought they gave a little bit of the intensity of that part. No music was playing, because all you do is hear is the car coming up closer and closer and closer, closing the distance from far away. And then all of a sudden, because we the audience are seeing this, she's not seeing it yet until it's too late. She turns around, then and then just flies right into the house. The car flies right into the house, running her over, and goes straight out the back of the house, driving away. I was like, oh crap, you know. Which I did like the scene where it said, far from the pitch blackness and the darkness, you see the headlights, it's getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden just flies right through the house and just runs her over the process and out the back of the house. So that was pretty cool. And creepy as well. So, and I forgot to mention, after the first deputy got killed, you know, at the tumbling down the hill, and like I said, this car doesn't mess around at all. So after killing that deputy, two more police cars are in pursuit of it. They see it coming towards them, and the car does kind of say like a badass move, right? Because it is supernatural. It is a supernatural car, but the car just purposely just is charging towards the police cars, and all of a sudden turns and just does a rolling spinning maneuver. You know, it turns around, just rolls over. Yeah, it rolls over right on top of the police cars, and they explode as well. So yeah, this car really means it. Like, it just really good it just purposely rolls over and rolls on top of the cars, and they explode. And then it continues going on. And then when James Brolin gets in front of it, gets his gun and shoots the tires, but it does nothing. Tires are not damaged, and he shoots the windshield. Doesn't do nothing. Like, no bullet hole in the windshield at all. So it's like he's shooting. It's like he's just shooting just air, basically. Then the door opens a little bit. He tries to open the door to see who's in it, but then the car just hits him with the door, pushes him back, and then I guess just knocks him out, I guess. Because he wakes up in a hospital with his girlfriend there. This is beforehand. So yeah, this is a supernatural type of car, which just, they say it's like it's possessed. So, and so after that, they they had to find another way to stop it. Well, but what they're trying to do, like, well, he's like James Brolin's back at his house, and then you get into the thing is, okay, how does this happen? Because he goes into his garage. He turns around. All of a sudden, boom! The car is in his garage. So you're wondering how did it appear in his garage? Did it just teleport into his garage? Because, well, it is an evil possessed car though. But can it do that? If not, could it just teleport anywhere? You know. But how did it? Yeah, I'm sure people were thinking, oh, well, how did it get in his garage unnoticed? Well, it doesn't have a garage door open or anything. So how did it get in his garage in the first place? I don't know. Probably, like I said, it's probably just teleported. but it was like an oh shit moment where, because okay, he turns around, all of a sudden, boom, the car is directly right in his garage. So he gets on his motorcycle to lead the way, while Ronny Cox, other deputies, and R.G. Armstrong are getting some dynamite, to set a trap for it, so they can blast this cannon to trap it in and just bury all this rock, basically. So James Brolin's being chased, and they managed to get a rope on it, and so he can climb up the cliff, and then they blow it. Well, first him and Ronny Cox, they do They do a distraction, to stand in front of the car. Then they both dodge out of the way as the car basically drives it off makes the car drive off the cliff, and they said the explosions, the dynamite, and then they say as it's being blown up, they see like this imagery, basically of an evil demonic image. Staring at them, as if which it was kind of like possessed by like a demon or something. So they get to the end, and they all see it. They see like an image of a demonic face. So it was kind of possessed by it. So now the car's completely buried, and even Ronny Cox tries to acknowledge what they saw, and it's like James Brolin keeps saying, "It's done now. It's over." And then as all the deputies and everyone else is looking at as the sunset's going down, then you still hear the car honking. Bam, bam. So yeah, the car. I like the car. Now, of course, is it a good? I wouldn't consider this as a Jaws knockoff, whatever, a ripoff. Like the time they did back then. But I do like it on its own merit. But like I said, as for killer cars go, I love Maximum Overdrive. I love John Carpenter's Christine. This is a good one too, because nowadays you don't hear about films about possessed cars and all that, or killer cars. But James Brolin thought he did a good job. Kathleen, Lloyd, Ronny Cox as well. It's only about 96 minutes. But I thought it was well paced. I don't think the film was not boring. It definitely was. The film was definitely not boring at all. I enjoyed it. The score by who did the score? Leonard Roseman. I would say it's there. It was not a bad score. I think it was just there. But the use of the car really does not mess around. Like it just runs people over. And especially when it just flew right into the Kathleen Lloyd's house and just running her over, just the whole creepiness of it's coming from a distance with the headlights and it's getting closer and closer and closer, but she's not paying attention until it's too late. I did like that. I do like that sequence there. James Brolin, Ronny Cox, the rest of the cast, they all did a good job, And I think like some of the characters were likable, like that one Indian deputy, which was he was on the phone with, I'll track you down and shoot an arrow right up your ass. So, but the car was definitely another good one from back in the 70s. As for features, this film has no features on it, just a trailer and that's it. Too bad. But the car I thought was an enjoyable enjoyable film, I would say. If you haven't seen the car, I would recommend you give it a watch. See if you prefer this better than, if you like this better than Christine or Maximum Overdrive, as far as killer cars go. But I love John Carpenter's Christine. I think I still consider it's one of my favorite John Carpenter films and Stephen King movie. Especially the score. I love the score by John Carpenter. That was a good one too. Good score. But still, regardless, I like the car still. I still enjoy the film. But yeah. And you can see how this is definitely an evil looking car. Like how is this, the eyes, nose, and mouth. Really, the car you don't want to mess with, I guess. But that's my review of the 1977 film of The Car. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next review for Halloween month. Later.